This video covers Section 5, Part 1, Configuring Amazon SQS queues. Standard queues are the default queue type. Standard queues support a nearly unlimited number of transactions per second, or TPS, per action. Because of the queue's highly distributed architecture, which provides this high throughput, you need to account for two potential conditions related to message delivery to your consumers. First, messaging order is not guaranteed. Standard queues provide best effort ordering. This ensures that messages are generally delivered in the same order as they are sent, but some might be delivered out of order. If your target application needs to process the messages in the order received, you need to include logic in your consumer application to reorder messages before further processing. Second, more than one copy of a message might be delivered. Standard queues support at least once delivery, not exactly once delivery. To avoid processing the same message more than once, your application code needs to check for duplicates and only process a message the first time it's received. For example, you might add code that checks your database for a unique value in the incoming event and ignores it if it already exists in the database. Message ID is a unique identifier that Amazon SQS generates. If you want to verify the uniqueness of the record on the SQS queue, you could use the message ID attribute. Another scenario might be that you actually need to verify the uniqueness of the payload. For example, if an upstream producer sent the same record to Amazon SQS twice, each event would have a unique message ID in Amazon SQS, but would be the same payload from your application's perspective. You can avoid processing the same payload twice using the MD5 of body attribute in the Amazon SQS event. This field represents a unique hash of the payload. To avoid having to write code to handle message ordering and deduplication where order is critical and duplicates can't be tolerated, use a first in, first out, or FIFO queue. FIFO queues are designed to provide exactly once processing, which helps you to avoid sending duplicates to a queue. FIFO queues also guarantee message ordering. FIFO queues support message groups, which allow multiple ordered message groups within a single queue. FIFO queues do have a more limited TPS throughput than standard queues, so only choose a FIFO queue if you need its additional features. You can use the AWS Management Console to create and configure your SQS queues, and you might find it helpful to use the console to send test messages to your queue. You can also create and configure queues using API operations and set queue parameters similar to some of the message parameters that you just learned about. For example, you can set the wait time seconds on the queue itself rather than an individual receive message request. Let's review some of the basic queue options. Use create queue to create an SQS queue including queue attributes. With set queue attributes and get queue attributes, you can set and retrieve the attributes of a queue respectively. These options help you estimate the resources required to process Amazon SQS messages. Use get queue URL to retrieve the URL of an SQS queue. To retrieve a list of your queues, use list queues. And with delete queue, you can delete a queue, regardless of whether the queue is empty. When a queue is deleted, any messages in the queue are no longer available. This example from the AWS Command Line Interface, or AWS CLI, creates a queue named myQueue with the parameters in the createqueue.json file. This JSON file specifies a redrive policy for failed records. The policy sends failures to a dead letter queue called myDeadLetterQueue after 1,000 attempts, also known as max receive count. The parameters file also sets the message retention period for the source queue to 259,200 seconds, which is 3 days. If a message remains on the source queue for more than 3 days, it will be discarded regardless of the max receive count. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.